the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Lord, may your goodness and love be present among us today. Please bless our gathering with hope and vision. Bless those here today willing to sacrifice their time and talents for the good of our students in Virginia Beach City Public Schools. Lord, we pray for continued guidance that this organization may continue to be a means of citizen advocacy. As we remember 9/11 tomorrow, may our hearts and thoughts and prayers be with those who lost their lives and their remaining families. Be with us and protect our servicemen and women as they safeguard our right to assemble, and bless our veterans whose sacrifices have been great. Build in us a deep respect for one another so that we may do your will. We ask all of this in your name. Thank you.
Amen.
We're delighted to have a relatively new resident to Virginia Beach as our moderator today, Mr. Jack Jolter. Jack is a Midwesterner by birth, lived most of his time in northern Illinois, north Chicago, a few years in other states before moving to Virginia a little over 20 years ago. Jack retired 23 years in the fire service in Illinois and served 11 years as the chief of the department. He attended Wesley Theological Seminary on the campus of American University in Washington, D.C., graduated with honors with a Master's of Divinity, and subsequently was ordained to the United Methodist Church. And I was remiss, I should have asked Jack to do our invocation. Jack pastored churches in Virginia for 12 years, then retired from full-time ministry. Upon retirement, he worked as a substitute teacher in one high school for 8 years, served 13 long-term appointments as well as daily substituting assignment. Jack retired from substituting and moved to Virginia Beach in 2014 with his lovely wife, Nancy, a special education teacher in Virginia Beach, whom I had the good fortune to work with for only 1 year. And Nancy has been working the past 2 weeks till 8:30, 9:30, 10 o'clock at night. So I have heard persons say teachers who are there just to get the paycheck, and I would warn anybody using that phrase today that Jack will take you on for that. Jack has been a small business owner, has a lengthy history of volunteerism with numerous volunteer organizations over the years. He currently volunteers at the Virginia Aquarium Marine Science Center as a volunteer educator. Please welcome our moderator, Mr. Jack Jones.
I'm going to be passing this around, so I'm going to use this so you can all hear what it sounds like. I want to cover just a couple of things, if we can, before we begin. And I'd like to thank all of you for coming out. This is the first time I've been involved in this process, and I'm anxious to read your questions and even more anxious to hear your responses to that. We will have a timekeeper, Mr. Fraley and Dean Bly. They will be holding up, let you know when it's 1 minute, 30 seconds. And the last one says stop. What I'm going to do is I'm going to hand you the microphone after I read the questions, it's your opportunity to respond to the question. When that red sign goes up, you'll also see me standing in front of you reaching out for the microphone. So that will kind of keep us on track. I'd like to introduce the folks that we have here. I'd like to thank them all for their public service and willingness to participate in public service events. Mr. Stephen Johnson from Rose Hill. Oh, dude, I said Hill. Rose Hall. My apologies. Eric Riley, Centerville. Francis Knight, at large. Victoria Manning.
Francis Knight Thompson.
Oh, I missed that. The first time I've done this. Okay. Francis Knight Thompson, excuse me. I see it now. Victoria Manning, at large. Ken Falkenstein, at large. And Beverly Anderson, at large. And we thank you all for coming. Each of you will be given the opportunity, 1.5 minutes, to introduce yourselves and express some thoughts about why you feel you're the best candidate for these positions. When the questions are asked, you'll have 60 seconds to answer a question. If you are named in someone else's commentary and there's need for rebuttal, you'll have a 30-second opportunity to speak to that. The questions will be in order of the panel, which also I believe is the same way the panel was listed on the as voter registration. You're wondering how this order came about. I'll rotate the questions so that not everyone has to be has a chance to be the last one and think about everyone else's response and times to be on the hook. We ask that you please address the actual question that's being asked. If you start to use it as an opportunity to move into another area, I may read you the question again just to make sure that you've heard the question. If you don't care to speak to a particular question, that's fine. Pass on. And I will, as I say, interrupt if I need to read the question to you. At the end of this, you'll have 1.5 minutes to summarize your positions and your thoughts. And I believe we're going to end promptly at 11. Okay. Any questions for me? All right, here we go. Okay, we're going to start right here. Mr. Johnson.
Okay. I don't need a microphone. Hello, my name is Stephen Johnson. I'm running for school board in the Rose Hall District. Why am I running? Because there's more to education than just academics. We've got music, we've got art, we've got theater, we've got band. Children come to school and they learn how to act in small groups and large groups. They learn to interact with people of different races and cultures. And I think that the school board is taking the wrong direction. We're trying to remove accountability from the schools. Proposed grade changing from last year had proposals like homework wouldn't count part of your grade. No penalty for late work, test retakes, taking all the personal responsibility of the students away from the school. Right now, the superintendent is formulating new grading guidelines. Grading guidelines that the school board will not review and approve. They just passed a motion last week that the superintendent is solely in charge of the grading system. And I don't think that's right. The school board needs to step up, do their job, and hold people accountable. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for coming out today on this great Saturday afternoon. Thank you for having us, VBTA. You all have been longtime friends, and I'm glad to be here today. My name is Eric Gray, and I'm running for school board representing the Centerville District. In 2012, 60,659 voters said, Eric Gray, yes, we want you to serve us on school board. We were a little short, but we're at this fight again. Why are we at this fight again? This fight is because of what you saw the other night, and I'm not really attacking anybody, but the facts are the facts. It was a 9-2 vote. Anytime a citizen comes before the city council or school board, and minds are already made up by members of the board, that is wrong. You all elect us to represent you. And with Eric Gray on school board, you will have that representation. A vote will not already be decided in my head. It won't be down by special interest. I'm not a special interest teacher union candidate. I am your candidate. Why should I be your candidate? I run a small business. I'm the president and CEO of the Yvonne Ray Funeral Establishment of Norfolk, Virginia. I know about budgets. I make payroll. I'm able to pay taxes. I'm not the union candidate, I'm your candidate because I am from the small business community, and we need someone on small business who can speak towards the global marketplace of our children, where they're headed to. Again, my name is Eric Gray. I'm running for school board representing the Centerville District. Thank you very much.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
My name is Frances Knight Thompson, and I am a candidate for the at-large, one of the at-large seats for the Virginia Beach City School Board. I am a retired educator. I was a music teacher for about 15 years. I was an elementary counselor for a number of years, and at my retirement, I had 37 years of service as a counselor and as a teacher. As I said, I retired at the last year. I was at Kim Smanding Magnet School as the guidance department chair there. So I have experience as a teacher, as a counselor. I'm also a parent of 3 children who all graduated from high schools here in Virginia Beach. I have 2 of my grandchildren are enrolled in schools here in Virginia Beach. I am well vested in the school system and in the school district. My mother was a teacher, my sister is a teacher, and I was a teacher. So this is very important to me, what we do for the benefit of our children across the city. I look forward to working with the school board. We have a great school district. There are people who move from all over this country to have their students or their children to attend our schools. And I want to be a part of a winning team. Our schools are excellent, and I believe that I can do more to make it even better and an even greater school district. So I ask that you remember my name, Frances Knight Thompson, when you get ready to vote on November 8th. Thank you.
My name is Victoria Manning. I'm running for an at-large seat for school board. I've been a resident of Virginia Beach for nearly 25 years. I'm a proud graduate of Old Dominion University and Tidewater Community College. I went through college the old-fashioned way. I worked hard and paid for it myself, and I'm very proud of that. I'm married to my wonderful husband, Scott, who has served in our United States Navy for nearly 28 years now. He's currently a Navy captain in our reserves. We have 2 boys, Austin and Logan, who are going into the 7th and 8th grades. I'm very active in our church. My family and I are very active in my church, and God comes first. I believe in our country. Country is important to me, and I believe that it starts at the local level in our schools. I believe our schools are declining. The board just voted to allow policy and guidelines that the superintendent has created that I believe lowers expectations and teaches children that deadlines do not matter. Did you know that we currently have an honor roll that's ABC, not AB? I also believe that we have a top-heavy administration that needs to be streamlined. Over the last 2 years, 323 administrators have received a 12% salary increase. Our military in that same time has received a 2.3 increase. I don't believe that our public sector should be outpacing our private sector. Thank you.
Good morning, my name is Ken Falkenstein. Thank you for coming out this morning. I, too, am running at-large. There are 2 at-large seats, so you'll be able to vote for 2 of the 5 candidates on November 8th. I am married to my beautiful wife, Kim, who is the school nurse at Kempsville High School. I have 3 children in the Virginia Beach schools. I am the only dad in the race who has kids in the schools, and right now there are no dads with kids in the schools on the school board. One of my kids has special needs. Josh has Down syndrome and autism, and is in a wonderful program for that, but I want to bring my firsthand experience as a special needs parent to the school board. I'm a former president of the Down Syndrome Association of Hampton Roads. I am a practicing attorney in Virginia Beach and a former associate city attorney. I'm a veteran of the United States Army, military intelligence. As Vicki was saying, I think our schools are headed in the wrong direction. Last year, Wallet Hub rated Virginia Beach the 3rd best city for families, and that was largely because Virginia Beach was 3rd best in the country with schools and daycare. This week, they came out with their new rankings. Virginia Beach is now number 5 in the country for families because we went down to number 19 for schools and daycare. Under the current school board, we're headed in the wrong direction. I want to restore excellence and accountability to our schools.
Hi, I'm Beverly Anderson. I'm running for the at-large seat. I'm currently on the school board, and I'm the current vice chair of the school board. I'm a retired teacher of 36 years in our system. I retired in 2012 and ran for the school board, and I retired at that time so that I could run for the school board because at that time there were no former classroom teachers on the board. And I was one of those things where, you know, you're working really hard, you're doing everything you can, you work as hard as you can, and then all of a sudden one day directives come down that you knew were going to impact the classroom in a very negative way. And so I walked down the hall and you know, I'm just so sick and tired of people making decisions for classrooms and classroom teachers, and they've never ever stepped in a classroom before. So I walked down the hall and I said, you know, I think I'm just going to retire and run for the school board. So that's what I did. I ran for the school board so that I could bring the perspective of a classroom teacher to the school board. And I've done a really good job, I think, of thinking about how votes will impact our classroom and how they will impact the students and how it will impact the teachers. I'm retired, but I'm still passionate about our school system.
and I will remain that way because that's my lifelong career, and that's what I care about. I care about children, I care about students, and I care about our school system. I have a strong military connection. My husband is retired military, so.
Okay, just a reminder now, the questions will count. You have 60 seconds. I'm going to read the question and give you just a few seconds to think about it, and then I'll hand the microphone over. Okay. What are your top 3 priorities for the school board?
Thank you. My top 3 priorities for the school board are listed on the back of my card. Expanding all-day kindergarten to all schools in Virginia Beach. Putting the ABC grades back into our elementary schools and getting rid of this APs, P's, and N's that nobody really understands. And putting cursive writing back in the school curriculum at all grade levels. Currently, we're graduating kids from high school can't even sign their name in cursive, and we need to change that.
Well, I'm coming from the business perspective. I want to keep 65% of your tax dollars directly into the classroom. I want to make sure that students and teachers are safe, of zero tolerance for bullying and activity. And I want to make sure that our children are prepared for the global economy. I might not get any credit for this, but in 2012, I had a great idea to have a entrepreneurial academy. Well, we see that just came into fruition at Kingsville High School. It's not about me getting credit, but it's about the students. It's about them being able to look at a balance sheet, to be able to learn how to make payroll, and to be able to learn how to navigate their way through business, not on the job training, but actually in our school systems. And it was a great success. And so we're going to expand that a little bit more when I'm on the school board.
My 3 top initiatives would be, 3 top priorities, I apologize, would be, it's something that we may not be familiar with, but it's called the Whole Child Initiatives. And this ensures that all children are safe, supported, challenged. There's a whole set of things that children have to experience every single day in order to be successful in school. Also, I'm interested in making sure that the decisions that we make provide equity for every child, not just some children, but for all children at all levels, from the very, very brightest until the most challenged. And also increasing graduation rates and lowering the dropout rates. The graduation rate currently is 90%, but still that's 10% of children who are not graduating from high school. The dropout rate is only 4%, but still that's 4% of children who are dropping out of school. We've got to do something. We need to get those numbers to 100% so that no children are dropped out and all children have an opportunity to succeed as adults.
My top priority will be to put accountability back into grading. We should not be teaching our students that deadlines don't matter and that if they blow off studying for a test and they fail it, that they'll have an opportunity to retake. We are teaching our students some very bad habits and we're setting them up for failure in the real world, because that's not going to happen in the real world. When you go to college, a professor's not going to say, oh, that's okay, you can retake the test. I also think we need to have a streamlined administration. Take a look at the website and see how many downtown administrators we have and support staff compared to direct teachers who actually have hands-on with our students. I also believe that we need to improve teacher morale. This grading scheme that was implemented in our schools quietly, without even the school board knowing about it, has affected teacher morale. At one of the pilot programs where my kids attended, 2/3 of the teachers left that school within 2 years of this pilot program. And I believe that we need to seek our teachers' input first.
There are a lot of things I want to work on, but here are the top 3. Number 1, fixing and protecting the integrity of our grading system, not just in the middle school and high school, which is under assault right now with the scheme, like Vicki said, to remove accountability from our grading system, but also in the elementary school, where the administration already changed the grading system without input from the school board to this NP, DP, AP scheme that nobody understands, including the teachers. So there's no uniformity and the grades don't mean anything in particular. Number 2, I want to fix the 5 failing schools in our system. We live in one of the most prosperous cities in the country, and we have 5 schools that are failing. They're predominantly